All good? Okay, go ahead, fire away.
What do you think's been behind the slow starts the last two games on offense specifically?
I think last week it was probably turnovers. I mean, that's not what it is. It was this week it was more 1st and 10 efficiency. We had some false starts. We had a sack on a 1st and 10 play action. We had a screen that went for negative yards. We had a run that went for negative yards when we were backed up there. So it's pretty easy in the first half to point to what the inefficiency was. It was our first down, and so now we're not on schedule anymore. And they did a good job pinning their ears back. That's something we can't let them do. They've really excelled in that area. So I thought we settled down better in the second half, and we're a lot more efficient.
Zach, how uncomfortable did Joe look in the pocket, especially in the first quarter?
I didn't think Joe looked uncomfortable.
You don't think he's getting pressured too much, and that's all?
I think we've given up too many sacks, absolutely.
They kind of caught you off guard right off the gate with that 4th down attempt. Wish you had called timeout to kind of gather your team because half the guys were kind of running off the field.
No, I still think we were in good shape. We kind of jumped up on the call. They ran a mesh concept, and we jumped up underneath, and they hit the guy behind it. So I still think we were in a functional call. It just didn't work out for us.
Were you guys looking to call opportunities for shot plays down the field today, or were they just not there?
Yeah, we called some of them, had to check out of them, rightfully so. And they did a good job just trying to stay on top. That was one thing they were going to limit, trying to double Jamar, trying to play a lot of Tampa 2 and limit those shots. And when your first down efficiency isn't very good, it's easy for them to be able to try to take that away, particularly early.
How was the communication on offense today?
Not great in the first half. Not good enough in the first half, I should say. Led to some errors that were difficult when that should not happen.
What do you attribute that to?
Just I don't know. We'll have to find out after the game.
What went into not going for the field goal at the end of the second quarter when you were at the 42-yard line? You decided to punt.
42. It's a 59-yarder, 60-yarder. You missed it. They got great field position. We got a great kicker. Trust me, I know that. But at some point, you guys make smart decisions. We know our defense is going to settle down. So you win the field position. So there was about 6 minutes left in the second quarter, if I remember. So you're hoping that that's going to lead to points. You're able to pin them down there inside the 10, which I think we got it right on the 10. Get the ball back, 2-minute drill with good field position to be able to punch it in. So it's just having faith in your defense, faith in your punt coverage team, defense to get a stop, and then offense have an opportunity to go into halftime with a score and then get the ball back to start the second half. So, I understand ball in the 42. You're thinking be aggressive there, but again, we're just thinking we're going to get one more possession and points and then get the ball to start the second half.
Do you think at all, Zach, of going for it there on for the first time?
Well, that's really what went into the thinking was let's play the field position battle on this drive, leading in the half, get one more possession and score and try to double up, at the end of the half and the beginning of the third quarter.
Zach, through 2 games you've had offensive issues for different reasons, like you said, turnovers. I mean, are you concerned or surprised if through 2 games that it's looked so disjointed?
No, because people are going to look back at 2 games last year and say something very similar, so these reactions always happen when you lose a game. It's a long season. That's what we tell our players. We're just going to take ownership in these losses and continue to get better. We know that we have a good football team. We've shot ourselves in the foot a little bit early on here in 2 games. Long season yet to go, and our guys are going to continue to improve and play better and get some wins.
Did the pass rush they showed kind of maybe affect the aggressiveness or how aggressive you might have liked to be, especially early in downs?
Yeah, I mean, it's maybe they haven't gotten the sacks against everybody you watch, but quarterbacks are just sprinting out of the pocket. When you watch all the tape from last season against these guys, they have a really stellar pass rush. They use these guys really well. Micah Parsons is going to be in the conversation for one of the best, if not the best, pass rusher. Just the way they can move him around and the way he can take advantage and bend. And he's a real problem, and they got really good players behind him too. And so, we put ourselves in some positions where they could really tee off and maximize what they're really good at. And that was frustrating early on. I thought we settled in better later in the game, and we're a lot more efficient.
That being said, it was a big point of emphasis to improve the offensive line and give Burrow more protection. Is it frustrating that hasn't been the case so far through 2 games?
It's not frustrating. We've given ourselves opportunity to win these games against good teams. And so once things settle down, I know that we're going to be a really good football team, and we all believe that.
I guess this is kind of a 2-part question. Do you feel like you're getting enough from a pass rush standpoint on defense, and does anything have to do with the fact that you didn't have that much tape of Trubisky, and he's not like the type of pocket passer that sits there that gives you more opportunity?
I think at the end of the day, you don't have as many sacks as you'd like early on. They gave up 14 points to start the game, and then after that, played really lights out. Aside for those 2 field goals there at the end. So our defense is playing really well. And so, again, we're just looking at we want to keep the team out of the end zone, give the offense the ball back. And aside from that slow start on the first 2 drives, our defense did that. They did that last week too. So at the end of the day, we're not going to overanalyze all the statistics, and we're just looking to play good, sound defense And I feel like our defense has done a pretty good job of that through 2 weeks.
You mentioned last year. Do you feel like there was a stretch last year where you kind of hit the same obstacles on offense?
Yeah, every team in the league is going to go through this, where you face a 2-game losing streak at some point. Unfortunately for us, it's the first 2 games of the season. It's a long season, and so again, we just got to kind of hit the reset button, not in a negative way, but just regroup for Tuesday to get ready for the Jets this Sunday. I know our guys are going to be focused the right way. We got great leadership. So again, that's just what we're relying on right now is those guys to get us focused, have a great week of practice, and go to New York and find a way to win.
Y'all been heavy favorites the last 2 weeks, touchdown favorites, first team in the Super Bowl era to go 0-2 despite being that heavy. Is it feel like a missed opportunity, knowing that you were in good position early in the year to maybe get some wins when it's going to be tight later on?
Yeah, I don't worry about the spreads. We know what we're facing. We know we're facing good teams, and to be 0-2 is not where we picture ourselves, but it's where we're at.
What were you looking for in that 3rd and 3, kind of your last offensive play of the game? The throw ends up being a tough play to avoid.
The headset went out, first of all, so we're screaming a play in. It's unfortunate that the one play in the game is the last play in the game. But, we felt like we had a good shot. I think that one of their guys just fell off on TB. I've got to see the clip, but I'm not sure it was the guy covering him initially. He just fell off and made a real good play.
The headset goes off. Are you allowed to stop the game there? Or?
No.
Any blitz on that play? Were y'all expecting them to bring a lot of pressure?
No, not necessarily.
One of the positives you were able to get out of today, the way Hayden Hurst played for you guys today.
Yeah. I think Hayden's been really solid. That's what we expected. That's what he's done. He's focused on these games. He does a great job, and it's not surprising that he's had the performances he's had. He's really dependable for us. That he did a good job stepping up. I thought Mitch did a good job stepping up as well, and those guys will have to.
Sticking with the tight ends, how's Drew?
Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll have to look at it. But again, it was his knee, so we'll have to find out.
The drive to tie it, 19 plays, 8.5 minutes. I know that's not sustainable to do that all the time, but I mean, what was your takeaway from that drive, and how hard is that to find consistent offense when that's what some of your scoring drives have to look like sometimes?
That's just what was needed at that point in the game, and that's the position we put ourselves in. But our guys answered the bell. They made some tremendous plays, some tremendous one-on-one plays, some great throws, tremendous protection. About everybody I can think of stepped up on that drive to help us go score. And, the protection was tremendous on that 2-point play. Joe really had all day back there and allowed TB to separate on that whirl route. And so I thought those guys really came together and put their drive together when we needed it. Unfortunately, the next time out, we weren't able to do that. But again, we just got to continue to improve.
Did the ball hit did the punt hit the scoreboard?
I mean, with my own eyes, the ball hit the scoreboard. So, but not on the replay, I guess.
What's the biggest aspect that you think in between
It's
now?
a great
and
question, though. I mean, that was a big point in the game where a punt's just dead for no reason, for a reason that we all saw, and we're lining up for the punt again, and then we don't get to do that. So they just got a down punt with no return. That part was really frustrating.
I mean, like Ms. Darren always says, watch out on the re-kick. I mean, it's always the second punt, always seems.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. They just ran down to cover a punt. And we're ready to go back out there and punt again, and then the ball's just spotted. And, I mean, I think anybody watching the game saw the ball hit the Jumbotron, so the fact that we didn't get to redo that is that is really frustrating.
But they did review it, right? Or they did look at
I
it?
mean, they reviewed it, and they said it didn't hit, which just watch the game.
Is between now and Sunday, is there an aspect of the offense that you think can be boosted or fixed quickly to make sure that it's more efficient than it has been the first 2 games?
Say it again?
Is there, that's probably a bad question, but between now and Sunday, is there a part of the offense you think that can be rectified quickly in order to make the offense more efficient?
I think we're going to be in good shape. And, again, we just settle down is not the great word. We just, first half so far, have been the story of turnovers and tough first down efficiency. I think today was maybe a little bit, I don't want to say all communication, because usually the 1 or 2 communication plays stick out in your brain, and if there's only 1 or 2, obviously you want 0, but those are things that we can get cleaned up, and so, again, I think we're going to be in great position going forward. It's anytime you lose, it's going to feel like, from everybody that's watching, that's the story until you win a game. I get it. That's how it should be. But we're going to work hard, just as we have, to put ourselves in another position to go on the road and find a way to win against a good team.
What is the mood in that room? You have so many leaders, you've said that many times. They can handle something like this?
Sure, but again, anytime you're losing games at the end of the game is frustrating for everybody involved, and so again, I know that they're going to take ownership, and we all will, because we're all a big part of this. But it is tough when you lose 2 games the way we lost them, on really walk-off field goals. That's a killer. But again, our guys have done a good job putting us in position to go win these games. We just got to find that one more play to be made.
Did you make a tweak to get Higgins more involved in the second half?
To tweak, no. Again, it's just we put ourselves in difficult positions where it's hard to be in attack mode and really get after them when you're behind the sticks. Man, that's at the end of the day, that's just what happened. Again, our guys do not panic down 17-3 at halftime. That does not phase our guys. It's not the position we want to be in, but we've proven time and time again we'll overcome whatever depth that faces us. We just have to do a better job getting in front of the other team.
I was gonna ask about T, just how, short week of practice, still a young guy, how did he bounce back from everything and able to kind of contribute?
Handled it really well. It is tough when you're going through the things he had to go through this week. He's just such an impressive human being, football player, guy in the locker room. Can't really say enough good things about T. Higgins. Thank you.
Thanks, Zach.